Hello, everybody. Welcome to Larry's Topics. And I've got a great topic for you, slasher horror movie fans. It's going to be about the titans of slasher films. And the unfortunate fall of one of the four titans of slasher films. For those, I categorize them the titans of horror slasher films, slasher horror films. And there's a reason, and I'll explain. And I'll explain the fall of one of them. But before I do, please like the video, please subscribe, and hit that notification button. And if you like the video and have a comment, be nice. No fighting, no swearing, no attacking each other for their opinions, because everyone's allowed their own opinion. Like I said before, I will eventually do topics of suggestions for entertainment, for mostly movies, comics, cartoons, toys. If you're a toy company and you have a new superhero toy or monster movie action figure toy or whatever, and you want me to review it and post it on my videos, I will do it. But I don't have sponsors. I'm just learning all this stuff, and I just recently posted a few videos, and I would love other topics. I'm thinking real strongly of changing the name of my channel to Larry's Geekdom. That way people get better understanding, because topics, they think it's going to be about politics and how to find a man and crap like that. No. This is, well, it's more geekdom. It's more for nerdy people that are into Dragon Ball Z, Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, Freddy, Jason, Michael Myers, stuff like that attract us freaks, weirdos, and geeks. So, sit back, relax, and listen to Larry's topics about the titans of horror slasher movies. Alright. The reason I gave them the title, The Titans of Horror, when you stop and think about it, you'd understand it's a good categorization for them. There are the four. You know them. You love them. You dream about them in your dreams. Let's see. The most iconic one. Oh, God, I don't know which one to start with. Alright, we'll go with the most notorious one, who, if I remember correctly, has the highest kill count. I love him. I love them all. Even the one that fell. He'll still have a place in my heart, and that is going to be explained later. Alright, but the number one slasher horror movie icon titan is, everybody knows him, say his name, Jason Voorhees. Camp Crystal Lake Killer. Why is he a titan? There is a reason he is a titan. You've seen the stuff that he has been put through. He's been blown apart by machine guns. He's been blown apart by shotguns. He's been electrocuted. He's been drowned repeatedly. He's been set on fire. He's been blown up. Freddy cursed himself by uttering the words in Freddy vs. Jason. You, no matter what they do to you, you cannot die. You can never die. And what is Jason but the world's biggest, I'm sorry to say it, it's not mean, it's his source of power. He's a very, very obedient mama's boy. Everybody knows, or has the common concept, that Jason Voorhees, alright, we all know he drowned, but if you stop and think about it, and this is actually how I've actually got it to work, where it actually makes sense to me, and if you hear this, you might make sense to you. Jason's mother's insanity and obsession with her son because of the tragic death he suffered fed him in his watery grave, causing him to wake up. Because he jumps out of the water, he grabs the girl in Friday the 13th after she cut his mama's head off, and he pulled her into the water. But they never found him. But a little while later, he's a full-blown teenager. Why is that? Because mommy wasn't there to punish the people that went to Crystal Lake anymore. Her insanity and willpower, I believe, caused some kind of reaction to force Jason to rise up, and it forced him to grow at an accelerated rate. It's only a few years apart, and he's a decent sized guy, right? And number 2. Number 3 is when he dons one of our favorite masks ever, and that is, of course, the hockey mask. We all know the story. I'm not going into details about it. I'm more focused on the evolution of Jason's changes, as well as the fact he's a Titan. Alright. Back to his growth spurts that he goes through and physical changes in size that he goes through. If you stop and look at each one of the Friday the 13th after, you can't count number 1 because it's focused on his mother and what happened to him and her punishing those that come back to his grave for fun and games and sex and partying. Alright? Sorry, Friday the 13th one, not to be mean, but it's not in this. This is not what makes him a Titan, other than the fact he came out of the water. So I will give it that percentage. The reason he is a Titan, I'm almost 2. But look at every single type of victims he has in each movie. Number 3, he's a pretty strong guy, but he's not massive. By no means. He is not massive. But yet he gets a lot of stuff done to him. And he shows he's got such raw power. But he's not a massive guy. Alright? Neither are his victims. His victims aren't that big. They're honestly more of the feminine athletic stature. No offense, guys. That's the best way I can describe it. You're athletic, but not really. You're normal. Average. Normal health. Whatever. So, Jason doesn't have to be that big. Doesn't have to be that massive. Number 3, people get a little bit bigger. But still, you're not that massive. But Jason's a little bit stronger. He lifts himself after he's hung from a hayloft, which should have snapped his neck and killed him from the fall and the weight of his body. Lifts himself up with one hand. I know you can remember the iconic scene in Friday the 13th 3D where he gets his mask. Number 2, he's wearing the sack. 3 is when he gets the mask. And he takes the noose off from around his neck and lowers himself down with one hand. And he's not a massive guy yet. Alright? I think it's when we can't count was it 4 new, I think it's New Beginning or New Blood. I'm sorry. I haven't seen him in a while. I've just seen a lot of the newer ones. But Jason's I think he's a little bit bigger, but not massively bigger. But he's still a pretty powerful dude, right? Then comes, what is it? oh God, I think I'm saying his name right. Bob Hader? Yeah, Bob Hader picks up the mantle of Jason Voorhees after New Beginning or New Blood. And Bob Hader, compared to me, he's small. Height wise, I'm a big dude. But he's massive. I don't know, I think he's like 5'11", maybe 6 foot. I'm taller than him, I'm pretty sure, but he's not a small guy. He's buff. Even in his old age, he still has that hulky physique, right? Well, you look at his victims. As big as Jason is now, his victims are bigger. Come on. He knocks the head off of a boxer in Jason Takes Manhattan with one blow. That's like basically and made that sucker fly. That's basically the concept of a grizzly bear or a polar bear walking up and slapping your head clean off your body, which they can do because they're that powerful. Right? Okay. Now you got, what is it? He's done it for like 4 or 5 movies. You know, Jason X, he's still pretty buff, right? And a lot of his opponents haven't gotten bigger. But you look on, he's got in Freddy vs. Jason, his opponents are even bigger, so Jason's got to be bigger. I mean, come on. I think the guy who played him was over 6'7" or 7'6". I can't remember. I watched the commentary a long time ago, but the dude is massive, and he's a big dude. Why? Because his victims are bigger. If you're gonna be basically the on top of the food chain of the ocean, like a lot of your sharks are, you're gonna have to be bigger than your prey. Well, Jason got bigger because of his enemies, or his victims being bigger. Freddy and all the stuff that's happened to him, all the times he died, leading up to Freddy versus Jason, you can see why he's a Titan. Freddy makes the mistake, though, makes it worse, because he says to him, as for Jason's mother, and Jason being the obedient mama's boy, he says, you cannot die. No matter what they do to you, you cannot die. Jason being obedient, no matter what you do to him, he's still going to come back. If there's a smidge of him, he's coming back. So that's why he's a Titan. Freddy, the mouth of horror. I swear he's like Deadpool of horror. He's always got some sick, twisted comment off the wall thing he does to kill his victims. So creative, so inventive. But he's a Titan. Why? Because he cannot die. No matter what you do to Freddy, he comes back. Bring him out to the real world. Guess what, buddy? He's going to come back. Why? Because somebody, even the heroine, as they always are, survives. She's got to sleep at some point. Freddy versus Jason. Jason goes to sleep. Freddy's in his dreams. Right? Well, that's why he's a Titan. Alright, and now we're going to skip by the one that has fallen from grace as a Titan, even though he used to be one. And we're going to go to the big dog, the baddest of the bad, the man that comes for people like Freddy and Jason. You know him, you love him, you love his pale porcelain or pale blue skin, depending on how they done his makeup. You love the baldness. You love the slices in his head of little perfect squares. You love the pins that are in his head. And yes, you know who I'm talking about if you're a true horror fan. And that is Pinhead. He's the big dog. He is sent by hell. He's a titan. I don't need to explain. He's died, blah blah blah, but he keeps coming back. He's a demon. He that categorizes him as a massive titan. He can come collect Jason and them, and they have to obey, or he just tears them apart with his chains, and that being the nicer of the ways. And he can do a lot more, trust me. But now, sorry, it's not that massive as Jason, but I wanted to give you an insight of what I thought about him, about how Jason evolved to fit, his massive structure in Freddy versus Jason. But now this is the topic. This is probably going to be one of my longest videos, and I apologize, but it's on to the one who has fallen from grace, and it's not his fault. It's the writers. It's people that are stupid. And that's Michael Myers. You love him. I love him. You love that mask. You love that eerie music. You love the blue. Or if you're a Rob Zombie fan of Halloween, don't get me wrong, I love it too. It's got its own little thing. But I'm talking about the main continuity Halloween. Michael Myers. Come on, guys. Yes, they went off the walls with some of the crap they did with storytelling and all the different, no, this didn't happen, whatever. That's not the point. He was a titan. Acid injected into him, shot in the eyes, blown up, electrocuted. I think he was even burned, blown apart by guns and stuff. Come on. That makes you a titan. No matter what they did to him, he kept coming back. And then along came Halloween 2018. Don't get me wrong, I love it. It's a great movie. Michael does not hold back. He's brutal. And the other two that are coming out, he's supposed to be even more brutal. Why is he no longer a titan? It breaks my heart. Because he is like, I love the titans of horror, monster slasher horror. All the same, except for Michael's just like a smidge, like a tiny, tiny tip to greatness. And that is because, well, he's Michael Myers. He's the boogeyman. Freddy Krueger, he's a former boogeyman. Jason, he's a former boogeyman. But Michael Myers, without even being massive or horribly burned with razor claws, come on, it's just a pale William Shatner mask, eyes cut bigger, mechanic's jumpsuit, butcher knife. Doesn't say a word like Jason, but the dude, he's wicked strong, and he can't die, right? Well, 2018 ruined it. They stripped him of his Titan level. How, you ask? Look at it. Go back, watch it. Mourn him and the fact that he has lost his Titan title. They should have never took it from him. And for that, I am upset. He was a Titan because he couldn't die. Watch 2018. Love it for the good movie that it is. Great story. But he's an old man. It hurts me because it adds a little more character, a little more in depth into his story, that they took the Laurie Strode sister thing out. But that's fine. I can live with that, I guess. It made it a little more compelling and understanding that he's just going after people that he's related to, trying to destroy the bloodline so they all burn in hell or some shit like that. I can't remember. Sorry for swearing. But, you know, he's an old man. He's what? Let's see, he was in his he was in his 20s when he escaped in the first one, and he's been in the psych ward for 40 years. He's 60, he's a 60-year-old man. Jamie Lee Curtis, you are the original Scream Queen. You look good for your age. Great actress, but you're not that dangerous to Michael Myers. The guy could drop over from a heart attack. He's not a Titan. He's not a real threat. You stop and think about it. Oh, wow, you miss him with shots, blah, blah, blah. You should cut off his fingers, he doesn't make a sound, whatever. Seriously. He could be... If you can walk very quietly up behind him or be a sniper, you can shoot him in the back of the head and he's done. And that's what broke my heart. They stripped him of his title as a Titan. And it hurts. If I could, well, I know I could, but I don't think anyone would, I don't know if anyone would like it. I would love to sit down and reboot Halloween. Start from the beginning and not be as out there as Rob Zombie, because he was a version of you're not born a monster, monsters are made version of Michael Myers. I want to give Michael Myers back his title as a Titan. And I probably never will. But that's it. I'm sorry, this is one of my longer videos. I may have longer ones down the road. 22 minutes or so goes by pretty fast. Just wanted to give my opinion on the loss of a Titan in the horror slasher genre. So, hit that like button. Ring the notification bell. Thank you for your viewing of my video. Leave a comment. Be nice. And that. Have a good day. God bless you. Good night.